All right, ladies and gentlemen, Season 18 of Destiny 2 is mere weeks away, which also means Arc 3.0 is right around the corner. I already made a full-on prep guide, link below if you want to check that out, but if you've been watching the channel for a while now, then you know I like to give weapons their own video. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top must-have exotic weapons, some Arc, some not, that you need to get ready for Season 18. So yeah, if you're new and you enjoy the videos, then feel free to subscribe. I'd appreciate it, but let's get into these juicy exotics. Starting us off, we have Riskrunner. You probably saw this one coming because it's already a great exotic, and with Arc 3.0, it's about to get even better. It's a 900 RPM SMG beast of a primary weapon that you probably already have due to it being a reward from literally one of the very first missions in the game. Now, what makes this SMG so good is how its intrinsic perk and exotic perk work in conjunction with one another. Arc Conductor, the intrinsic perk, increases the weapon's power and gives you an overshield that is resistant to arc damage. You activate this by just taking arc damage, any arc damage, even throwing a nade at your feet. Once it is active, you can keep it active by just continuing to get kills. This is where Superconductor comes in, as while Arc Conductor is active, Superconductor essentially is going to make it to where shots fired start chaining lightning to other enemies and returning ammo to your mag. I bet almost all of us have used Riskrunner, and I don't need to explain why it's on the list with Arc 3.0 right around the corner. If you're willing to give up your exotic slot to a primary weapon, it's a good choice now, and it's going to be an even better choice next season. Also, its catalyst extends range, which on an SMG is always good. Next up, we have the other Arc weapon that everyone is thinking of. Let's just go ahead and get this one out of the way. Trinity Ghoul. It's an arc bow that has insane add clear capabilities thanks to its exotic perk, Lightning Rod, and its exotic catalyst, Forked Lightning. While Lightning Rod is active, your next shot is going to chain lightning to nearby enemies. You can activate Lightning Rod by just getting precision kills, and if you keep getting precision kills, Lightning Rod will just stay active, and it's a bow, so you're probably going to be getting precision kills like every single kill, or at least that's how it used to work before its catalyst came out. With the catalyst, you don't need to get precision kills anymore to activate Lightning Rod. You just got to get arc damage. And that's arc damage from any source, including your abilities or even the arc damage caused by the chain lightning from Lightning Rod. So yeah, when Arc 3.0 is here and everyone is throwing out arc damage like crazy, Trinity Ghoul is going to be an insane weapon to have. The only problem with Trinity Ghoul is switching off of it to something else. Like, you can clear an entire room of enemies in seconds, so when you have another weapon that doesn't just insta-delete every ad, then that weapon can sometimes feel like weak in comparison. I mean, it's a good problem to have, and it's just something that I've personally noticed. So like when I'm using Trinity Ghoul and I switch off, I'm like, wow, this thing kind of sucks. Just like Riskrunner, this is already an amazing exotic if you're willing to give up your exotic slot on a primary weapon, that is, and with Season 18, it's about to get even better. At the third spot on our list, we have an exotic that's not Arc. In fact, it's not anything because it's kinetic. Witherhoard. Witherhoard is a 90 RPM special grenade launcher that has really stood the test of time. It's the best season pass exotic we've ever seen, and I will die by that statement, by the way. It has made every single best exotic list since its debut almost 2-ish years ago. The reason for it being so good is because of multiple things. First up, all the roles that it plays. It's good at ad clear, group clear, single target damage, background boss damage. It's also a kinetic, so it pairs perfectly with whatever OP energy primary you're using it with, i.e. Funnel Web in Season 16, Callus's mini tool this season, its ease of use, amazing catalyst, the list just keeps going. If you don't understand the gameplay loop of this weapon, well, it's quite easy to explain. In easy to understand terms, you're essentially shooting water balloons, but instead of them being filled with water, they're filled with like blight that damages enemies. If the shot hits the ground, it pops or bursts open and spreads that blight, damaging any enemy that touches it. If it directly impacts an enemy, that blight gets absorbed into them, damaging them, and then when they die, the blight spreads across the ground where they died. And if enemies walk into it, well, then they're going to start taking damage. Then you throw the catalyst on top of it, which just gives the weapon auto-loading holster, so you can fire it and then switch to another weapon to keep doing damage, and after a few seconds, you can whip it back out, and it's already reloaded. Witherhoard is it's just so amazing, and I don't think that I have actually ever put this thing in my vault. I think it has always stayed on one of my characters. It's amazing, and you can grab it from the kiosk. Up next, we have another kinetic weapon that has also stood the test of time, Izanagi's Burden. This is a 90 RPM kinetic sniper rifle that is acquired via the kiosk. Just like Witherhoard, Izanagi fills multiple roles: single target damage, insane burst damage, boss damage, and you can still use it with whatever OP energy primary you want. You can use Izzy like a normal sniper that has 4 rounds in the clip, but that's not really how you're supposed to use it. Everything that makes Izzy so good revolves around its intrinsic perk, Honed Edge, which allows you to hold reload, which consumes your mag, into one powerful shot. And it gets even better when you have the catalyst, Peerless Edge, because now when the whole mag for bullets is consumed, it further increases the damage of Honed Edge. So you just literally reload and all your shots become one powerful shot. It's pretty easy to understand. Izanagi's Burden is the oldest weapon on this list, and most of you already know how to use it, and that its only downside is its ease of use. It's definitely a high risk, high reward weapon, which Bungie doesn't seem to be making a lot of nowadays. Like, you actually have to aim this thing and hit your shots, or you just end up wasting damage and ammo, then you have to go through the whole long reload animation all over again. Also, not to mention, it can get even better if you learn how to quote unquote Izzy swap, which I've discussed and taught y'all how to do in the past. But yeah, like I said, high risk, high reward. If you can master it though, it's one of the best weapons in the game, and it feels really good to use once you do get like Izzy swapping and just knowing how to use the weapon down. Now, real quick, I do want to go over 2 honorable mentions. These could have very well made the list, they just didn't, but I still wanted to mention them. First up, we have Divinity. Divinity used to make these lists before the influx of elemental-based debuff artifact mods that we've been getting in recent seasons. I know that it's still used quite frequently, especially on bosses that have hard to hit crits and people using Izzy, but I still wanted to mention it because it's Arc. And if there are some insane Arc mods, maybe Div will start popping up like literally everywhere again like it used to like a year, 2 years ago. It's a cool damage debuff on command and increases the crit size of the enemy that it's currently hitting, or the boss. And then the second honorable mention, Anarchy. I know Anarchy has really fallen by the wayside ever since its massive damage nerf some time ago, but the fundamentals of why it was good are still there. Like, the gun still works the same way, that being, amazing background tick damage. If we do get a mod that increases arc damage, and Anarchy being an arc weapon, then we could very well see Anarchy rise from the ashes. And like I mentioned, the fundamentals are still there. It's just, it got hit with a damage and an ammo nerf. But if we get a damage increasing mod next season, then I mean, we could see Anarchy start to be used again, which I'd be pretty excited about because I haven't used it in a while now. And then the final weapon on our list. It really does pain me to have this weapon at number 1 once again for like the 3rd video running. Like, if this was a list of what I was going to be using, it wouldn't be number 1, but this isn't that list. Gallarhorn, G-Horn, Galley, whatever you want to call it. I said that Izzy was the oldest weapon in this video, but if you're counting reprised weapons, then G-Horn is technically the oldest, with it being in D1 and all that. I'm not going to explain G-Horn. It's a rocket launcher that does insane damage and is very easy to use, literally point and shoot. I don't think it will be the number 1 most used heavy weapon, with Storm Chaser being in the game and all, and Arc 3.0 coming, but if you just took a general survey of, hey, what's the best exotic weapon in the game right now? 90+% of people would say Galley for the 2 reasons I just mentioned, and it also benefits other people in your fire team that have rockets. It's just so good in every way, and I'm just tired of using it. I don't really use it that much, but yeah. But those are the top must-have exotic weapons that I think you should have locked and loaded going into Season 18. But if you think a weapon deserved to make the list but didn't, let me know down below, or let me know your top 5. I'm curious what you all got. I'll pick someone random that comments their top 5 exotic weapons for next season, and I'll gift them the new season, or the equivalent of the new season if you already got it. But with all that being said, feel free to drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.